Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm from Penguin Solutions.
Hello, my name is Patrick. I'm the Chief Information Officer at Interswitch. Hello, partner. I think it's an interesting story, Andrew. Uh, I joined Interswitch about 5.5 years ago, and the things I found about Stratos made me realize that the organization didn't make a wrong decision partnering with Penguin Solutions to deliver Stratos for the critical systems that Interswitch leverages on for payment processing and fraud, right? I realized that the vision was 100% uptime. The vision was fault tolerance, and honestly, partner, not because you're here, Andrew, I can tell you that in 5.5 years of me joining Interswitch, none of the Stratos servers that we have for mission critical systems and fraud solutions have ever gone offline on its own, right? The only time that we've had to take some of them offline has been for either replacement or doing disaster recovery tests required by the regulator. And I will say that vision of fault tolerance, continuous operations, continuous seamless operations, irrespective of the scenario, still lives on, and it will continue to power the engagements and industry conversations that we'll have as regards payments in this country.
Thank you, Patrick. It seems that Interswitch has been doing their job right, but again, the feelings are mutual in terms of the partnership. And again, we're still excited from the instance of this partnership. Over the past 20 years, we've had the privilege of being a key part in the evolution of a Nigeria banking sector. We are actually the first to introduce our products within the market in the evolution of, groundbreaking momentum at the time. While our company has evolved from Stratos to Penguin, what remained consistent is our commitment to grow alongside the industry. We've continued to develop innovative solutions, meeting the demands of next generation of critical banking applications. So thanks for that.
I think our partnership has been quite strategic. We've seen benefits from Interswitch using the Penguin Solutions Stratos FT to ZT series, from processing its own transaction to deploying into customer locations across multiple customers around Africa, right? Our customers have now seen the benefits of what we initially thought was useful to ourselves, right? When we started this partnership, at first it was for our use case, but then it had expanded to delivering those use cases to our customers. And the response and the feedback has been phenomenal, right? Because we've seen from 1 customer to 2 customers, and really I can't really count how many customers where we've deployed Stratos systems by Penguin Solutions, and the number of competent people that we have trained to be able to manage the systems. It's been a long, great partnership. And at the same time, I see the interesting innovations happening between us that we'll still talk about for the next 20 years. So keep it up.
No, thanks, Patrick. Thanks. We will. And there's still a lot more to do.
Yes, there is. That's how I get paid.
So the key difference is that Stratos is designed to prevent failures with traditional and cloud models is designed to recover from them, right? Traditional and cloud systems are like having a backup generator. When the power goes down, it first needs to start up. So what happens is that your applications, everything else also shuts down and then only starts up. Where a strata system is like having two power lines in your house. If one fails, the other one is still giving power to the house, right? And again, your application never stops running. So, which is that creates that zero downtime.
Fantastic. And it's a great benefit that we've seen, because in reality, we've literally experienced what you just demonstrated, right? We've seen cases where in situations we've had to run maintenance, like changing an airplane engine while it's flying. We've had to run hot swappable changes on DFT servers when they are in flight, when they are processing transactions without experiencing downtime. And this is one of the things that keeps us running our critical systems on either the FT or the ZT series. Quite amazing.
Happy that our engineers are doing their job.
Anytime I'm having conversations with people, besides the fact that I work at Interswitch, somehow I'm still a customer, right? I still pay, transfer, make bill payments, airtime purchases. So it feels like I'm building solutions that will serve me, right? And by extension, the industry. So when you look at yourself being in the position to pay for a surgery, sometimes you have to pay for electricity. You'll be amazed how many times you forget to top up your airtime. You literally need infrastructure, technology, or solutions that will be always on for you to run those kind of transaction processing, and by extension, fraud prevention, to make sure that you are not liable to any losses by fraudsters, right? So a 24/7 system, it's the new normal, right? Because I literally can make payments at any time of the night. I literally can try to make phone calls at any time of the night. So it's the same thing with payments. With the advent of agency banking, we further extended the capability for people to carry out transactions outside traditional banking hours, right? A couple of years ago, you literally can only perform financial transactions at the bank, and that's between 8 and 5 p.m. But right now, with digital channels, it is limitless. Right now, with agency banking that is happening in Nigeria, for example, I can literally walk down the street to draw cash, right? Meaning, you really can't have infrastructure that doesn't run 24 hours, that isn't built to be resilient. It's like you have a plane that is always in flight, right? That there is always an activity. If I look at the trend of data, there's literally no minute, irrespective of the time of the day, that we're not processing transactions. And if you look at Nigeria, for example, we now have a growing diaspora population that are processing transactions while we are asleep. Right? In those days, you could literally shut down your bank. But right now, you can't do any of that. And this is one thing that really our partnership has enabled us to do in this market, right? And it's like a game changer for us. And we'll continue to leverage, we'll continue to deliver this value to the industry and our customers.
Well, we're happy at Penguin that you guys are still excited and that there's so many good use cases and examples in the market, right?
yes, there is quite a number of them, but again, these things are transparent to the customers, and that's the way it should be, right? Imagine them thinking that, oh, this processing doesn't feel like something is in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, like contactless.
Yeah, so that brings another point, which is 7 nines of availability, right? That means 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3 seconds of downtime annually over a year. That is what Penguin offers to the market, right? For banks, this practically means transactions never fail. Customers' payments and transfers go through 24/7. We just spoke about that, without interruption. Customer trust is protected, which is critical, right? Mobile apps and online banking are always accessible. Again, the example that you mentioned. Operations are seamless, and critical end-of-day reports and compliance checks runs without a hitch. So, yeah.
Well, it's fantastic how these things work, because that sounded like rocket science if I was not neck deep into it. But in reality, it's quite a lot of tech and real engineering to make this happen.
Yeah, I agree. So think of it like a landline versus a mobile phone, right? The old technology and legacy technology is always expensive to maintain and it costs a lot of money. You need skills to manage it. It takes time. It's old. It doesn't have the same feature sets as, new technologies. But now, looking at my getting into Penguin with resilient infrastructure, it's like leapfrogging your old landline systems, going directly to the latest and the greatest in terms of mobile networking, which is always connected. It's always running. You can make calls when you need to. It's very easy to manage and so forth, right? Embracing strats platforms is like leapfrogging directly. So the key 3 advantages immediately, right? Building a rock-solid foundation on infrastructure, resilient infrastructure that is continuous, right? Gain customer trust again. Trust is important in terms of technology, in terms of process, in terms of application, and so forth. And then focusing on growth and not repairs.
When you spoke about the telephone lines, right? My mind just kind of switched to remember those days where you had the dial-up connections, where you literally use the same line for mobile telephony and you needed to do a dial-up to have access to the internet. Wow, I could remember how slow those things were compared to what we have today.
Yes.
And looking at the cost in terms of the quantum, I can imagine how much it would have cost. It would still cost us if we were to maintain that technology compared to what it is today. And guess what? It's even cheaper today than it was there.
Yes.
Because the cost to pay for that service, quite very slow service, compared to the amazing fiber speeds that we have today. And that's the same thing in transitioning from the old stack to the new stack, because we are getting more performance, more speed, at literally even less costs, because technology is evolving, the cost to process and create the stack is reducing, and that translates to what the customer pays. So again, organizations need to understand that it might feel effective. It's a feeling that your cost is low, but in reality, running old stack is quite expensive.
I totally agree with that.
Andrew, as an organization, it feels like we're Siamese twins, because we kind of go you kind of go with us everywhere we go without literally being there.
Yes.
Right. So, will I say there's any separation at the moment? Because like Siamese twins, at some point they get separated. But really, the way we've built our stack, the core processing of our solution has now been bundled together with the Penguin solution, the Stratos ZT series or the FT series, because we've seen that for payment processing around Africa, for us to have the kind of availability that we want, that the customers deserve, this is how the combination should be. And that's why I call it the Siamese relationship, right? We're kind of stuck together because we've seen it work for 20 years, right? We believe it will continue to work in the next 20 years. And as we continue to make payments seamless across Africa, as we begin to open and break new frontiers in Africa, this is one partnership that we're willing to sustain. And this is one partnership that we believe that will continue to enhance what our vision stands for. Because there's nothing really like building a stack, Andrew, and you really can go to sleep. And that's what it is. And we'll see that expansion happening in the next couple of years in a quantum not comparable rather to what we've seen in the last 20 years of our partnership. And we've seen the tremendous growth. We've seen the customer acceptance. We've seen customers asking us about what is next. In fact, there are tons of customers asking us, when is this going to come up, right? And that's what's going to happen. And again, I believe that it's beyond the talk show. It happens in processing. Maybe we should speak in processing, right? So that's what we see in the next couple of years, and it will be a great partnership based on what we have in stock.
Well, I'm happy that you sleep. I also sleep, and again, I agree with you. The partnership is exciting. We are forward thinking in terms of our partnership, in terms of the business that we do. And we still try to innovate going forward with you to service the customers across Africa, right?
Yeah, so Africa, here we come. As we expand and enable seamless exchange of commerce and value, this is the experience. It's 24 hours, 7 days, 365 in a year, complete uptime, improved success rate, transaction processing, fraud prevention, great response to customer service. That's what we will deliver.
We are providing a future-proof foundation that business can build their entire digital future on, right? The foundation, our technology, right? As businesses adopt more powerful AI systems and launch new digital services, they would launch it on our resilient platform, right? The local experts, Interswitch, and, all of the branches across Africa. The partnership brings the world-class reliability directly to them. So as fraud evolves, right, and their business accelerates, they won't have to worry about the infrastructure.
Yes, exactly right. And I like the way you introduce artificial intelligence into it. It's a frontier in today's conversation, and there is literally no way that we can respond proactively to fraud prevention without enabling or leveraging AI. Because again, with a $20 card of somewhere, you really can get a fraud service. You see, you keep seeing fraud as a service somewhere online. And we need to build such resilient solutions, leveraging artificial intelligence to protect our customers while they are transacting wherever they are. Because as we provide the transaction processing platforms, there has to be security, safety, fraud prevention for our customers to continue to increase and improve their trust and ensure that they are safe across our systems. And yes, this is what we're going to achieve in the next couple of years.
And that's why we partner with you.
Thank you, partner.
Thanks, partner.
Nice doing business with you.